Hello viewers and welcome to Unity of Command. I'm your host PPChuChu, and well, today we're checking out this indie strategy game of sorts. So, in the past I've sort of already covered this game a little bit. I mean, we've taken a look at it before through the form of a few like mini Let's Play AR videos, and well, today I wanted to cover the new expansion for it, which is Black Turn. So, this game is what I would consider a simplified war game, and it's, as you can probably tell, it's mostly about the Eastern Front. Just kind of briefly before we begin, I mean, you get the two Stalingrad campaigns inside the base game. They released a DLC called Red Turn a while ago, and that deals with the road to Berlin, so you play as the Soviets in that one. Stalingrad campaign, you can play as the Germans or the Soviets, and well, the thing that they released just like yesterday pretty much, so you know, December 2013, is this one, Black Turn, which deals with Operation Barbarossa. So what is Operation Barbarossa? Well, in 1941, I would imagine most people would know, the Germans started their operations against the Soviet Union, right? So they pretty much declared war. And the code name for this operation will so happen to be Barbarossa, and that's sort of why the title is that. So anyhow, this game is played out of two different stages. You have an overall campaign map here where you can select which battle you want to fight, and depending on what happens during that battle, you'll start to gain more prestige, and you'll start to unlock different paths towards a ultimate campaign end. So it's kind of cool. The campaign does have this breaching factor, or you know, branching out factor, where depending on how well you do or how badly you do, your campaign can change over the course of events. So we're taking a look at Army Group North, the start of June 22nd, 1941. We're playing as Army Group North, and this is the start of the Blitz into Russia. So, as you can probably tell, I mean, the game is very, very nicely looking. I mean, everything's really clean, it's chic, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So our objectives for today are to capture a few points, and the main thing about this game is that it's like I said, it's a simplified war game, meaning that it's not as complex or as convoluted as some of the other games. Like we've taken a look at John Taylor's Panzer Campaigns series, where you're literally dealing with, like, at the very minimum 30-40 groups of troops, and you got to do like artillery and like airstrikes and all of that stuff. Well, in this, things are toned down. I mean, it's less complex, but the content and the quality is still there. So, as you can probably tell, we are commanding the Germans, and we have quite a few infantry troops and a few panzer formations, and all our objectives is to take these little bullseye markered objectives pretty much as fast as we can. This game, I think it's a great introductory war game simply because of how it's sort of planned out like this. The icons are sleek, it looks absolutely nice, it flows really, really quickly, and I hope to show you guys that in a little bit. And it really tries to make you be efficient at blitzing these objectives. But all in all, let's begin rolling back the Soviets here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to drop some of our assets, some of our air assets onto these guys, and it doesn't look like it did anything, unfortunately. So that's fine, we can still move up, and all I want to do here is that I just want our guys to smash through the Soviet line here, and really just try to break through these guys. Yeah, so like I said, a fairly smooth game. You'll see here that as we move these units around on the map, those little blips underneath get removed, and that's sort of how you take a look at losses and stuff and such like that. So German infantry moves up, tanks go forward, and this is historically what they did was that the infantry pretty much dealt with the vast majority of the Russian troops around this area, while the tanks sort of just went forward and blitzed the major objectives, so like the towns over here that we're supposed to capture. The game has like it has a few variable, or it has a few things, a few stats that you do have to keep track of, but I mean it's not overtly much by any means. Some of these word games though, they might have like a whole like crap ton of different statistical things that you really need to do, but for this one it's really rather nice in that it doesn't have any of that stuff. It's really rather nice and simple. So, we moved all of our troops forward, and we've advanced up here, and I don't think we need to do any more, so let's take a look at our supply lines, and you can see that our supply comes from Königsberg, and it goes along this road system, and it goes to pretty much all of our places. Take a look at the weather. Looks like there's a little bit of a storm coming from the shore, but everything is fine, so let's speed this thing up, and let's move this turn over. So we'll end the turn, and we'll let the game go forward like such. Yep. And the Russians will do their thing. The game has a great AI. It's absolutely wonderful. It does a great job. But the only downside is that I don't believe there are any scenarios in which you can actually defend in during this game. So all of the scenarios focus on the offense, simply because the indie team that made this game, they really wanted to make a great single-player experience, and I guess the only way that they could do that was to make like all of the scenarios sort of uniform with each other, and that they're all sort of direct offensives. Anyhow, moving forwards, let's blitz these Russians. Let's move forward, get our guys moving forward. What I like to do in this game is that I typically just like to get all of like my infantry to move forward and smash their lines like that. Infantry pulls out. Let the infantry deal with the infantry, and we'll get our tanks to, or some of our stronger groups to deal with some of their stronger groups. So, like, the nice thing about this game is that eventually you get down into a sort of like pacing here. So on the side of my screen, you can probably tell that the odds in which the losses, the predicted losses and stuff come up on the side there, right? Well, like, usually you typically don't even look at that simply because the game really flows really quickly, but let's just see a breakdown of this. So currently we have the Totenkopf motorized SS motorized unit here, and let's just take a look at you know, what's actually happening here. And we're fighting some Russian tankers over here. Well, we have an elite unit, and that's marked with like the 2 iron crosses right there on the little icon. And going over here to the right hand side, you see that we have a few stats. You know, you have your attack, your defense, your movement, and your armor, which is just simply the amount of, you know, tanks and stuff that you have. So stats inside this game is really simple, and the thing with it is that it just flows so nicely, and there's really not much you know, calculation, grinding, and doing all of that stuff that you had to do. Alright, so the Russians have a lot of tanks here, and that's definitely going to slow our advance down if they, you know, continue to exist. So with that sort of said, we're going to have to figure out a way to get rid of those tanks intuitively and effectively. Just got our infantry to finish off these guys right here. But we want to get rid of these 2 tank groups, and we want to do it efficiently. So let's see, we have the first Panzer Division, we have the 6th Panzer Division. And you'll notice here that on the 6th here, they actually have a specialty step equipped with them. And this one is the SDKFC 231s, and they provide us an extra bit of attack and defense and armored power as well. Well, we'll get them to make a drive through, let's see actually, we'll get them to drive through this particular Russian armor unit, because it looks like this one is the weaker one out of the 2. Oh, should I get our tanks to move forward here slightly? What we don't want to do here is that we don't want to get our tanks cut off for a very long amount of time, but we do want to move efficiently. So we'll do something like this, and we should hopefully be able to eliminate that tank group. Yeah, so there we go. And I think, oh wait, no, we have an airstrike, so we'll drop that down, and we'll see if we can do anything with it. Fortunately not. There we go. One of these tank squads, they this, for this particular scenario, I mean, I've read up a lot of stuff about Army Group North from a memoir by the leader of the 6th Panzer Division at this time. So going for a little bit of history about this particular like scenario in the time period. Over here we had 2 Russian tank formations. It doesn't really say inside this game what they are, but they were there. And the memoir that I read was from Einhard Raus, and he commanded this unit right here, so the 6th Panzer Division with their additional support step here, and that was for intents and purposes, I mean, a pretty elite unit. On their drive towards Riga and ultimately the bridges towards Leningrad, they had a huge problem with these Russian tanks, not these ones, but the support step ones, the ones that were KV-1s, simply because the Germans didn't really have anything that could actually go through those really easily. Alright, but enough of that. Let's finish these guys off. See how far our infantrymen can move up. Those guys are probably going to be gone. Gotta get the infantrymen moving, so these guys will just advance generally like this. And our mechanized corps here will be heading towards the second objective down here inside the south, but all I want to do is just follow the original game plan that the Germans had, which was to keep their infantry line constantly moving forward, and to get the tanks to charge towards the objectives and nab them really fast. So with that sort of said, let's see. Tanks go first. Take that thing out. Because we've overrun that group, we can shoot again or fire again. And we'll take that out too. Get rid of that unit just like that, and further advance. There we go. So things are looking pretty nicely. How does our supply look? Supply is good inside this region. Not really good on this push, but that problem will be fixed soon. And there are no more cloudy skies, so that's great. One of the things about this game is that it has that overall campaign map, and with that campaign map, I mean, you sort of have to take a look at you sort of have to take a look at your score, meaning that you'll see here that our objectives on the side of our screen, we have this thing which tells us, how many points is all of these objectives worth, and stuff like that. And if we cap these locations, provided that we cap them within a fairly reasonable amount of time, you get prestige points, and depending on how many prestige points you sort of earn throughout a scenario, you'll be able to sort of, it'll unlock some scenarios that would be kind of different from what you would play with, say, like a regular victory. And, but the special thing is that you can actually requisition more troops down here from the force pool, just this bottom, sort of menu here, and we can actually just add these to different units that we have, which is kind of neat. Now, anyhow, we need to take this town, so we'll try to move all of our guys forward here. Like I said, this game does have some speed running qualities to it. So currently, I mean, I'm just trying to meet all of the objectives inside the smallest possible amount of time. And as you can see here, I mean, one of the objectives is already sort of counting down, so we were actually supposed to already take this town in the south here, but I didn't, so we're going to have to nab that. Yeah, so if we open up this panel again, you'll see here that yeah, if we don't capture Riga by this turn, it'll start to lose 100 victory point or 25 victory points afterwards, and this place is already starting to do so, so we really do need to nab these places and really forward the drive up ahead. So what I think I'll do here is that I'll actually get the infantry to just sort of wait around. It's alright if our infantry units just sort of die out, simply because inside this game, they just sort of actually come back. So you know, you do have to make those sacrifices and push forward like that. You know, of course, depending on the scenario. These guys are isolated, so they're not much of a threat. Over here, let's get our guys across the bridge. Capture the bridge, and let's get the mechanized units moving there, and we should be able to take this place later on with the bulk amount of infantry we have here. So we'll do that, and this scenario is pretty small. I don't think we'll actually need to use these infantry units for anything major, so we're going to leave them there for now and really just keep them sort of stocked up there. Move that one across. They're probably going to take quite a few hits, but it's alright. Yeah, that's going to destroy them. That's another objective capped. That is excellent news. And these units will just move forward here. And there we go, so that'll be another turn done. And, ooh, this is actually going to be sort of a time race here. Yeah, so it's this game really rather focuses on the whole efficiency aspect by quite a bit. So let's see here. What should we do? You know, eventually you do have to take like at the very start of the game, you typically don't take a look at it from a very you know in-depth perspective, right? I mean, all we're really doing is just sort of moving units on the map. But as you sort of get more and more into it, you kind of have to say, you know, like how would it be best to sort of like take these locations? How many roads can we use? How many bridges do we have to cross and stuff like that? So it really makes an interesting starting war game, because it gradually makes you consider those things as time sort of just kind of goes along. These units, we can sort of shuffle them around like that, and we'll end this turn. And all I'm trying to do here is that all I want to do is just drive into there and really nab that city. Let's see. Alright, so get our tanks over here to move forward. Our pocket down here is actually starting to run out of fuel and ammunition, so there's no actual supply lines down there, meaning that I'm trying to open up a lane here for our guys. There we go. Have to have that. Have to have the main road here under our control, because without that we will not have any supply. And ooh, this is gonna be tight. 2 turns to actually nab that town and bring that home. And you'll see here that the AI, it's fairly it's pretty smart for what it's worth on the defense here. So turn 9 out of 9. What can we do here? Get these guys to move up, hopefully overrun that unit. Then we'll drop that there. Get our tanks to move forward here. That's gonna breach them. Ooh. Yeah, that is gonna be close. Just so far away. Well, folks, that is Black Term. That's Unity of Command. Hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you guys next time.